Terry, can you record your own presentation, please?
Yeah, I'm recording right now. Yeah.
Good, very good. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the project I do. I first did this project as a classroom teacher, and then later on I took over the project. But I did it many years ago when I was a fourth grade teacher. I've been doing this. I've been running it now. I guess 10 or 11 years. I'm not sure exactly how long I've been running it. And so you can see from my slide, the landmark game is about research, and it's about letting your students know how to use the internet to research specific things. And at the same time, it's a game. So I'll jump on through here. See if there we go. As Stellan had said earlier, this is all about promoting dialogue. And so all of these people who join the project are connected up, and they're emailing and connecting all during the project because they're asking questions. But we're looking to break down barriers, just like our other projects do, and get people together and provide web space for teachers to come in and do different things with. This is just one example of countries that have been involved before. You can see Russia, United States, Czech Republic is there every year. I think we had Mexico. I think your class got involved at one point, and Australia is often in it, France and Canada. And you see I have the grade levels there, typically grades 4 through 8. So kids are either like 9 years old up to 14 and 15, but we even have high school kids who get involved with this game when they play. And I'll show you how the game works if you haven't played it again ever before. So there are two different groups of people who play. We have our primary players, which we typically consider our younger players. And you can see when they're playing, they will have a secret landmark, and they have to tell us one coordinate, either latitude or longitude. It has to have a date, and they have to tell us something about the hemisphere. But those go into clues, which I'll show you some clues shortly. So that's in the primary group. But we also have the challenge group. And when we have the challenge group playing, that's way more open-ended. And so this game can be very, very challenging the way it's played. Some of the older students play it, and some of the students who've been in the project many years who've gotten very good at it. Here's just a list to show you in one of our groups how we lay out the teams on the website. And you can see they all get a number and they all have a team name. And all of these schools you see right here will each have a secret landmark. It might be a statue in their country. It might be a river. It might be a mountain. It could be almost anything that exists. And these are examples of some of the schools that have been in it in the past right here. As Judy was talking about earlier, that they used Facebook in the Doves project. Well, we use that in landmark games also. So we have a private Facebook area. This is mainly for the teachers to share. And they get in there and they let us know what's going on, more about their classroom, but they don't share the clues there. This is where the teachers communicate, and that's on Facebook, and they can just join that and be connected in that way. Here's an example of that we have different size schools involved. This was a very tiny school in Russia who was in the game. You can see these students are quite young. However, they would be competing against students from much larger classes in Chicago or in Mexico City or in Siberia, other places, but larger schools. And a good look at some of the different photos that the students send in as they're operating. And you can see some of these are pretty much high school kids. They are much older, but all sorts of different kids can participate together because the way they follow the rules of the game. And so here we see, like I said, high school kids, little kids. The youngest kids here, I think, are only probably 8 years old, and that can be pretty complicated for some of the very young students. A few more things about how we communicate, different things that are shared here in the landmark games. But here's something to tell you about how it works. Once you have chosen a secret landmark, you can only ask yes or no questions. You can't ask anything you want. So we're working on the higher order skills of getting students to use their English to first research and then send a question that can only be answered with a yes or a no. So this gets very challenging in itself. Here's an example a team from Russia sent out in one project. So in weeks 1, 2, and 3, you can have 9 clues. In week number 1, here is the clue they sent out. And this is all you have to go on. So you know that water is all around it. You know it's the only inhabited place in a long distance. And you know a major part of the population would be fishermen or people who fish for a living. So those are 3 clues to the students. These are 7th graders in Kidlink, Russia. That's week 1, okay? Now, during that week, other schools can send them one question that has to be answered with a yes or a no. Okay, here's another one, same group, week 2 now. There's a rock named in honor of people who worship. There are seals in the area, and it's a site of an ancient person was found by archaeologists. So students take these clues and they research these clues, they Google these clues, and they talk among themselves in their classrooms before they ever write the question. So they have to research and think about the question, and then they'll send out a question. Okay, in week 3, this would make up all the 9 clues that each, and you can see this on the website. You can see all of last year's clues on the website, how it worked out. And so 7, 8, and 9, 300 sunny days, it's a UNESCO site, and it's a rift zone. All of these are very big clues when you begin Googling to find out what they are. Okay, so here's the types of questions people might ask. Does it have anything to do with Japan? Is 1965 important? Was it created by nature? Was it built before, say, 1979? These are all the types of questions you can answer. And they have to be, these are all yes and no questions that you can see right here. Well, here's the answer to the Kidlink kids. It's this island in the middle of Lake Baikal in eastern Siberia. So this was the final place that students could guess after they've done the 9 clues at the end of the project. And it says maybe Genghis Khan was actually buried near here. Okay. So what people are doing, the kids are doing, they're using graphs and charts. They're using technology. They're collaborating. They're researching, definitely. They have to use specific text to support a point. They use visual ideas, and they have to talk to their peers and work on all these ideas. So these are some of the things that teachers want to know. What kinds of ways are kids working together? And in Landmark, these are some of the ways that they actually do work together. So in the project, this is how some of the teachers, they'll put all the questions down on a piece of paper and let different teams work on these. And this is just one way you can download these questions from the website. These are sheets when kids are working, how they're collecting their thoughts when they're getting yes and no answers. So teams are keeping their answers in team folders. And so they track these each week. So all these answers are coming and going in emails all during the week. They're working on keywords, right? Keywords and phrases. That teaches the kids to be better researchers, to understand. So you don't just ask any question, you have to think long and hard. You know, think about where, and you think about what. And you could be thinking about numbers, whether those are dates or height or weight or kilometers. You're using all these different things when you're working with your team. Okay, so each week, as the clues are sent out, kids take the new clues and they get more and more information about their idea. So if you join this, once again, we talked about teacher support. I answer any and all questions that teachers need to help them know how to do this project. So there's a lot of teacher support that comes directly from Kidlink. The kids have to communicate with each other because they only get to ask one question per week. So you can't just throw any question out there. And this is something, if you have different kids in your class with different abilities, sometimes kids are better readers. In the United States, we talk about having special education. And so our classrooms can be very, very well mixed. But when these kids are working in teams, you can get every kid involved in the projects. And that's true for all Kidlink projects because of the way we work together, that you get to have all your kids in your classrooms participating. So it's not just for the best readers or the kids who get the best grades, right? It's for how all the kids collaborate and work together to help each other in that regard. One benefit is they practice critical thinking all during this. They practice it throughout the project. And these are ideas that teachers have sent back and said that's what they noticed. So during the project, we're collaborating, we're organizing, we're using critical thinking, creativity, and global awareness, just understanding what are other kids around the world doing. So we also find out, I think like Hugo mentioned in Dove's or in his reading project, that the teachers in the classrooms, they still connect even after the project's over, and they do different things. So they send little packages and do different things that really aren't even part of the project, but it creates that global awareness and keeps it going. Here's something I mentioned a minute ago, that all levels of students can participate. And the slides I'm showing here, oh, by the way, those are going to be on our website or on our Google Drive, and they can be downloaded. You can go back and read all these slides if you'd like to help you do that, or I can send them to you if you just email me. This is when the next project starts in February. You sign up at the Landmark site, and it runs from February 7th to roughly March 7th with all the clues coming out, and all the answers and scores come out on March 12th. And this all happens at kidlink.net. I think that's my last slide there. So it says 2021, but 2022 is what's coming up. So in February, you can join this, different levels. Sometimes we have as many as 50 or 60 teams participating, sometimes less with the pandemic going on. But you can go to kidlink.net, you can sign up, and that's how Landmark works. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, unless there's any questions about any of the slides that are up there. Oh, you could introduce anybody you want. Who put that one up? Who wrote that last chat? Let's see. Bring it back up. Oh, Doug, could you introduce? Yes, absolutely, yes. We want you to share and spread all this information around. So at this point, I'm going to stop recording, and then we can go to some questions if there are any. So I'll be recording here now.